Hi. So, insecurities. We all have them. We all hate them. We are all
clouded constantly by them.
And I wanted to take today's video to talk about insecurities. They're ridiculous half the time, and half of them don't be valid for real. But we think they are the absolute truth, and we are not willing to accept that they might not be. I have insecurities. I have plenty of insecurities, and the main motive behind this video actually is the fact that in recent, like the past month, like my insecurities have been really beating me in the booty. Like they have been biting my butt for real. Because when I tell y'all, like I'll be out doing, by myself. Like I'll be going to I take Mandarin classes. I'll be going to my Mandarin class. And I'd be like, I'd be thinking I'm feeling good or something. All of a sudden, I feel good. I got a glance at like a mirror somewhere, like like a glass comes by, you look at yourself real quick, but it's not what you remember in your head looking like. Mood ruin. Day is over. Like take me home, because the amount of times that has happened to me, it is so upsetting. Because I feel like home mirrors be looking different than outside mirrors, and then the lighting in your house be looking different than outside lighting. So it's just like all of a sudden I might look good now, I go out and I look like a freaking gargoyle. Yeah,
not her though, she's T.
And that's just one example. Like that's definitely not the only type of insecurities. Like they're not all physical, but I kind of want to talk about that part of it and how it genuinely seems to ruin my mood. Like I'm pretty sure other people, I'm not the only one who experienced this, but like insecurities really are detrimental to your health. They are so detrimental to your mind, your psyche, what you think about yourself, how you view yourself. Like, because insecurities, and I think insecurities lead to self-doubt, and self-doubt can lead to insecurities. So it's like vice versa, two sides of the same coin. One thing I want to say real quick is that this is a very vulnerable video. Like, I feel that I have no one to talk to about my insecurities. And I think that because of the fact that it seems as though insecurities in a way can be taboo. It's like we talk about insecurities, especially when being on the internet and on TikTok and stuff with it, where it's like, oh, new insecurity unlocked. And how we'd be like, oh, well, now I'm gonna be ashamed of this about myself.
Alana, what's the problem? Why are you crying?
I have kids. Looking at my forehead and my lip to nose ratio, I can't do it. Be honest, am I deer or frog pretty? No. Am I frog or deer pretty? I don't know. Maybe like, I thought you have legging legs. No, you have legging legs. Do you have a wash up? No, this is not funny. It's not funny. I have hip dips. I don't know what that means. Those are literally trending.
Not that that's not like that people don't actually do that, because that's true, but more sort of point out that if that's the level, that's kind of the end of the conversation. It's just like new insecurity. Okay, now I feel bad about myself, but we don't kind of talk about it. Like, let's talk about how it makes you feel and how it really affects your mental health and your overall psyche. Because of that, I feel like it's hard to open up about insecurities that you may have, or to talk to other people about it. Even my freaking therapist, we were talking about self-esteem, and I told her, I was like, I have pretty low self-esteem, honestly. And I didn't even want to talk about it, even though I'm there to get help. It's just so embarrassing to me that I didn't even want to talk to my own therapist about it.
Really, nigga?
And I feel like many people can probably relate to this, because it's kind of hard to bring up. People have insecurities about all sorts of things. We have insecurities about the way that we look, the way that we sound to other people, the way that we do certain things, the things that we don't have, the things that we do have. We're insecure about a lot of things. And it's so crazy, because half the time, some of the insecurities be things that people will not notice or don't care to notice, or in a way that's like, girl, sir, they, you. It's all kind of like, why are you so preoccupied with this notion of an insecurity that doesn't exist? And I think that's one of the main reasons why I took a break off of social media. My phone was stolen on Christmas Day. My phone was stolen, and I didn't have a phone until January. So this is the new phone. But during that time, I only had my iPad, and my iPad like has no apps on it. It only has YouTube, and like I was just watch YouTube. I didn't have TikTok or nothing, so I didn't. And I was a TikTok addict for sure. If that was a real thing, to give me the diagnosis, because I had it. It was real bad. It was real bad. But I was just like, after I got my phone back, I didn't re-download TikTok, and I was also after the ban. Like I got the phone after the ban had already happened, so I didn't have it at all. But I chose not to re-download it, and then I deleted Instagram because I was like, girl, I didn't like Reels. I was never on Instagram before TikTok was banned. But then I got on Reels and was on Reels all the time. But I was like, girl, what are you doing on Reels? You're doing the same thing you were before, doom scrolling all day. Get off of Reels. So I deleted Instagram, and I haven't had it. I haven't have any of those since then. But I think one of the main motives for removing myself from these places, or removing myself from, I'm sorry, my nose is so itchy. Removing myself from social media was to reclaim myself. I noticed that I, like many other people, constantly and comparing myself to others, constantly. And I'm gonna get into affirmations in a second, but I'm gonna give a quick example. I'm pretty sure all of us have heard that comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah, so it is. It definitely is, because when you compare yourself, it's like a pit forms in you where all the things that you are not fill into that pit, and it just grows and grows and grows, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it just kind of stays there, and you kind of ruminate in that pit in a way, and the feeling of the pit is what it feels like.
I wanted to add that I feel like after watching and like editing this, I realized that the iceberg is kind of a really good example of this. The above part that is visible to others, and then beneath, the insecurities and the things that you don't talk about, stuff like that, the hidden part. And I just felt like that was a good example to like explain the pit as well. Like the pit, I think, is also a great example, but I think that adds to it. Things that people see, and sometimes deep down below, you may ruminate in those spaces. Like, you can have all those bad feelings about you in the deepest part of yourself, but sometimes you reach that deepest part of yourself and you just stay there and ruminate in there. That's kind of the pit. That's the end of the iceberg.
It shuts you down. It really, really kills your spirit. Like, it just feels so, like, it's terrible. And it's hard to get out of that, because it's just like, I guess this is it. I guess I'm in the pit. I guess this is true. In these types of moments, your feelings in that moment feel like the absolute truth. Whatever it is that, whatever you're comparing it to, yourself to, whatever it is that is in that pit feels like the absolute truth. It does not feel like anything in there isn't 100% true. And because of that, I feel like that's what makes the rumination so damning, because it feels so real. And it's not to say that they're not, but it's more so to say that it's an elevated experience of your own insecurities and what you feel your shortcomings are. That aspect of it is what I've really been experiencing with my insecurities, and stuff, that pit. And because of that, it's just been really hard to exist. It makes it really hard to exist when you're constantly having to put up that front that I feel fine, even though you have that pit of all the things that you don't like about yourself, the comparisons, what this person has, what that person has and stuff. And I hate it, because a lot of the time comparing yourself, it's never that person's fault. And I don't like that. Sometimes it feels that way, because it's just like, but it's never their fault. It is never that person's fault, because they're also just a human. They're just a person casually living their own life, and they may too also have insecurities that might be similar to yours, might be way different than yours. It might be things that you liked about them that they don't like about themselves. And it's just like, whoa. And it just kind of creates this cycle. There are people who have no physical insecurities, props to them. There are people who, and like those people might have situational insecurities. Some people have situational insecurities who have physical insecurities, don't have situational insecurities. You know what I mean? So it's all insecurities are person to person. All of them. They're all person to person. But like I was saying, with the whole being in the pit,
like, no, like,
I'm finna be in the pit, y'all.
Like,
yeah, no, we don't want to be in a pit with her. Don't put us in there. Don't put us in there, please. Getting out of it, it's so easy to fall into, but so hard to escape from. And once you kind of have these thoughts in your mind, they become ingrained. They will stay here. And it's the fact that half the time, like, first, it depends. Some people's insecurities come from things that were told to them. So, for example, if you were bullied, or if someone you know were bullied, and they say that they were, like, someone was bullying you, oh, your hair is so ugly, you're so ugly, this and that, or your shoes are terrible, you can't dress. People be bullying about the most random stuff, to be honest. But if you were, like, bullied or things like that were told about you, then those specific comments can develop into insecurities, whether or not they're true. You could have been the flyest person in there, flyest man in there. You know, they didn't see the vision. You were still the flyest. But because you had all these people bullying you and talking to you about certain things or saying these things, you internalized that. And that created that insecurity. And some insecurities, I feel like a lot of my insecurities majority of them come from things that no one has ever said to me. They were made out of my own mind. And I think everyone has a balance of both. Things that people have said about you that have turned into insecurities, and insecurities that you make up on your own. But regardless, they ingrained in here, and it takes a lot of work to undo that. And I have a story to tell about a time in my freshman year of high school. I went to a school in Brooklyn by myself. I didn't know anybody there prior to it. And at that point, you know, I'm used to going to school with everybody I know. But I went by myself. I was a roller coaster every year. I had just cut my hair. Oh my gosh, it was a lot. I was walking with two friends of mine and a boy who they went to middle school with prior to. So they've known each other for like the past 5 years. They were cool and everything. We were all in the same class, of course, but I didn't know him. Like, I knew of his name, knew of him, and I knew that, like, they knew him and, like, he was funny to them and stuff, but, like, I did not know him personally. So because of that, I can be very awkward around people who I don't know. Like, I will most likely will just not talk because I have nothing to say. Like, I never know how to, like, mesh my way in or, like, vibe with the group. Because it's like, if there's that one person, the feng shui is off. The yin yang is not yin yanging. The balances are not balancing, because I don't know how to fit myself into the dynamic, especially because a lot of the time in that situation, when they all know the person and I don't, baby, I might as well leave. I will leave. And it's funny because most of the time I did. Like, I think the most common way of me doing this was me walking ahead of them. Like, I would legit just, okay, I'm too awkward in this situation. Now, if you know me, if you don't know me, whatever, I'm gonna tell you this. I have a posterior back there. It is quite hefty. It is quite big. And you can see it in our uniform pants. So I'm assuming that he saw that and he had called me. I guess they told him my name and he had called me, right? So I turn around because I'm like, did I hear my name? Did I hear my name? I turn around. This boy goes, never mind. Never mind. That's what he said to me. And I think it's so funny when I think back to this, because at the time it didn't hurt me at all, actually, which I think is very interesting. And I think the main reason behind this is because I didn't hear it. It was like weirdly like unclear, but I got the message. First of all, people are so rude. People are so rude. Like, I don't understand how we all know that we're humans and are aware that each of us have emotions and be just doing each other so dirty. Like, we feel this way, the next person might feel this way, the next person, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, we just be bullies. Why? It's just really difficult to undo these things, especially when someone else said it to you, like something like that. Like, and you know, I've had my fair share of compliments in my life. I've had my fair share. I remember one time, I wear glasses. I've worn glasses since I was in elementary school. During my senior year, I wore contacts for the first time. I didn't like them because the ones that I was wearing at the time, terrible. Like, I just hated having them in my eyes. But I wore them because I think my glasses were broke. And one of my friends, we're not friends anymore. One of my friends at the time, he was like,
"Can you put your glasses back on?"
I said, "Damn, bitch."
I was just like, dang. Like, for that to be the first time I go outside without my glasses and someone tells me to put my glasses back on, that hurt me. And I know non-glasses wearers be like, oh, well, you guys look so different without your glasses. But don't say that to me. Like, that's mean. That's mean. It took me a lot to do this. These are my glasses, by the way. That was my water bottle. Yeah, it's like, I think having insecurities in general leads to the cycle of wanting to change. And it's not to say that like that's not a bad thing. Like, you can, if you want to fix your insecurities, you go ahead, by all means, do it. Like, if say that you want a cosmetic surgery, completely up to you. I'm considering getting a freaking brow lift because this is what my face looks like when it's lifted. Like, see that? That difference means something to me, guys. So if I have the money to get a brow lift one day, I'm getting it. If you want to do that, you go get it.
Gargoyle here. I just wanted to say, you know, I support people getting whatever they want to be done. I just want everyone to know that I encourage it to be done in a healthy way and make sure it's 100% something that you want, and to reflect healthily afterwards to see, you know, because people can fall into cycles of continuing to get cosmetic surgery. But once again, it's all up to you. Just make sure it's healthy.
Like, for whatever reason, you know, if you can fix it, by all means fix it. If that's up to you though. Like, I'm not trying to pressure people into being like, you need to fix your insecurities. Like, no. I think a better method, rather than attacking them and going to fix them, is trying to unlearn them, pretty much. To remove them from this internalized, ingrained part of your brain. Address the root of the problem. Because at the end of the day, one thing I've noticed, it's never gonna be enough. Especially with insecurities, it's never gonna be enough. It's never gonna, no matter what it is, it's never gonna be enough. And I learned this with myself when I realized that when I compare myself, say that, this is the analogy I have. Say that I am wearing this, right? I think I look pretty good today, right? But say that I see another person and they're wearing baggy jeans and a sweatshirt and they look good. Though I have those exact same types of clothes in my closet and I've worn outfits like that before, I'm gonna say, never mind, I don't look good today. I should be wearing that to look good. So then the next day, I put on that type of outfit. I have baggy jeans and a sweatshirt on. But then I feel like I look good. But then I see a person wearing this outfit and I say, I don't look good, I should be wearing that outfit. Does that make sense? It's a loop. It's a loop. It's never gonna be enough. Even if you have those things, it's not gonna be enough. Notice how I have this outfit, and in this outfit, I saw somebody in a baggy jeans outfit, but when I was in the baggy jeans outfit, I wanted to be in this outfit. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But I guess a better example, one that makes more sense, is you can do the things to change. You know what I mean? Say, I don't like the fact that I have chubby cheeks. I can go to the gym, probably lose some body fat, maybe slim out my face, right? The fact that I have no hips, do exercises that way I can get rid of my freaking hip dips. Which is, fun fact, I got hip dips when I lost weight after going to camp for 2 weeks in 5th grade. That's when I got hip dips. And I just think to myself, I'm like, I had hips before that. And I have been dealing with with no hips since then. Like, what the heck? So, and no hips and hip dips, I have that. But if I want to go to the gym to do all those, to kind of fix those things, once I get there, a new insecurity may form. And that's not guaranteed, of course, but it's possible. Let me give an example. We've seen the celebs, and I don't want to harp on them too much because they are also people with insecurities, like literally. Now, this is shown in a lot of major transformations we've seen in throughout celebrities. One in particular, we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna say her name, Miss Kylie Jenner. Now, I think she's stunning, personally. Is she a little problematic? Yes. But I think she is a stunning girl. Now, let's look at her here, right? Her face is completely different. It's more than just maturing. She changed a lot of things about her face, probably because she felt insecure about them. Now, even in like before she got the lip surgery, she looked cute then too, but you know, those things, she had the money, so she fixed it, which I completely don't have an issue with. Like, if you have the money and you want to fix something or get a surgery or whatever, to go, by all means do it. I hope I'm like saying that. I'm not trying to be like rude if I'm coming off that way. I'm just trying to explain it. But we've seen that with multiple celebrities with all the different surgeries, cosmetic surgeries that begin done. But how it stems from an insecurity, right? Actually, and to hers is like a not severe case in my opinion. Like, she looks fine to me. But there are other celebrities, like let's take the Claremont twins for example. I think their surgeries are a little much. But that is completely them. And I think that when you see surgeries that look extreme, I think that is the perfect example of insecurities continuing to grow and appear, even after achieving the once set goalpost.
Gargoyle has made another appearance. I wanted to say that I think that this part, or the Claremont twin surgeries, are very clear that they had very strong insecurities, very internalized insecurities, because I think especially with them completely changing skin tones, like, I feel like that's typically a very large sign, especially among Black people, of the kind of self-hatred or colorism insecurity. But yeah, I think what I missed or didn't mention was I feel like they are an example of unhealthily continuing to get surgeries, because it was clear that one just came after the other, and now their transformation is crazy. Like, what I didn't really know who they were. So when I found out, like, saw pictures of them before, it's crazy. And once again, I'm not against doing so, but like I said, I'm against doing so. Just make it healthy. And they are a clear example of unhealthily getting surgeries and continuing to get surgeries. Also, I said celebrity, they're not celebrities. I wouldn't even know what to categorize them as, but yeah. Another thing, I really want to make a video about the weird rise in being racially ambiguous, because beforehand they were clearly two Black women, and it's like now if you didn't know who they were before, it's a little bit harder to tell. And I really want to talk about that because it's really weird.
I wanted lip fillers, okay, now I got lip fillers. Oh, but I still don't like the way this looks. I'm gonna get more. It's not big enough. I'm gonna get more. Actually, it's too big. I'm gonna get less. You see how you're just doing so much? Oh wait, well now the lip filler makes my smile lines more prominent. Now I have to get this, whatever type of surgery, I don't know what, maybe is it a facelift? I don't know. Now I have to get a facelift to get rid of this surgery. Oh, but then now this looks different, and you know what I mean? It goes back to the point that you will always find an imperfection about yourself. You will always find something that you don't like or you nitpick at about yourself. And I think that people or celebrities who get extreme, like you see their extreme cosmetic transformations, I think that is an example of how detrimental it can be to the person's psyche. Is that no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter what goal you reach, you will always still set another one.
Hello, unfortunately I did not get to finish this video because I was interrupted, but yeah, I pretty much got everything that I want to say out. I wish I was more concise because I realize that I do kind of ramble a lot, but I hope you got the point. Feel free to talk about whatever in the comments, you know, I would love to interact with whoever watches, and yeah, I want to probably make another video to continue discussion, but thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful. I love you all, and bye.